It's something we use every single day, but we hardly ever stop to think about how it all works. I'm talking about language. It's like this invisible code that builds our thoughts, our connections, our entire world. Today, we're going to start unlocking that code.
Aloha, hola, konnichiwa, ni hao, right? Four totally different sets of sounds, but they all point to the exact same thing. Hello. It's just an amazing little peek into the incredible diversity that's baked right into human communication.
So how is that even possible? How can our brains produce and understand this gigantic array of sounds and words and rules? Have you ever just stopped and wondered how it all actually fits together?
Well, the answer to all of that, it's in a field called linguistics. And it's not just about learning more languages, it's about understanding the science behind all language. Linguistics is what gives us the key to unlock the fundamental system that powers every single one of them.
So here's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to piece together this giant puzzle of language. We'll start with the tiniest sounds, build our way up to words and sentences, figure out how we decode meaning, and then finally see how linguistics shows up in your life every single day.
So let's start with that big puzzle. What is language, really? I mean, it feels so natural to us, but it's this incredibly complex system that literally shapes how we think, how we connect, and how we see the world. How does it all hold together?
To solve any puzzle, you have to start with the smallest pieces. For language, that means starting with the actual sounds we make with our mouths. So let's break it all the way down.
Okay, this slide breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got phonetics. That's the physics of it all. Just think about the actual shape your mouth makes to say cat versus cut. That physical difference? That's phonetics. But on the right, you have phonology, which is about the system. It's how your brain knows that the sounds k, and t in that specific order mean a small furry pet. One is the raw sound, the other is the mental rule book for how sounds create meaning.
Okay, so we've got meaningful sounds. What's next? Well, we have to start assembling them. How do we combine these little bits of sound into words and then build those words into sentences that actually make sense?
This is where morphology comes in. It's basically the study of how we build words. And as you can see right here, a word like unreadable isn't just one solid block. It's built from three meaningful parts called morphemes. We start with the root read. We snap on the suffix able to get readable, which means it can be read. Then we pop the prefix on the front to flip the meaning to not. We're kind of like word architects, snapping these pieces together to build bigger ideas.
But, just having a big pile of words isn't enough. We need a system to organize them, a blueprint for building sentences. That system is syntax, or what you probably know it as, grammar. Without these rules, our language would just be a total jumble of words.
So take this simple idea. There's a dog, some affection, and a person named John. Syntax is the rule that tells us how to order them. In English, we just instinctively know to structure it with the who, the dog, first, and then the what they're doing, likes John. This basic split is the very first layer of order. And this structure actually goes even deeper. Our brains automatically group words like the and dog together into one chunk and likes and John into another. It's this hidden, almost invisible grammar tree that gives our sentences order and lets us create endless new combinations that still make perfect sense. This hidden structure is really the secret engine of language. All right, so now that we have structured sentences, let's talk about the final layer, meaning. And this is about more than just what the words say, it's about what we actually mean when we say them.
This slide shows the two sides of meaning perfectly. On one hand, you have semantics. That's the literal dictionary meaning. If I say it's cold in here, the semantic meaning is just a simple fact about the temperature. But then you have pragmatics, which is all about the context. I'm probably not just giving you a weather report. What I really mean is, hey, could you please close the window? Understanding that hidden intention, that's the difference between just hearing words and actually communicating.
So we've deconstructed language all the way from sound to context. But you might be wondering, why does any of this actually matter outside of a classroom? Well, it turns out linguistics is absolutely everywhere.
So yeah, why should you care about all this phonetics, syntax, the whole shebang? Because understanding this blueprint for language doesn't just help us understand sentences, it helps us build better tools, better ways of teaching, and even a better society.
I mean, just think about it. In psychology, it helps unlock how our brains process thought itself.
In education, it completely revolutionizes how we teach reading. And in technology, linguistics is the hidden engine behind Siri, Alexa, and Google Translate. Every single time you talk to a device, you're using applied linguistics. It even helps us bridge cultural divides and just plain communicate better with each other. So, the big takeaway here is this. Linguistics isn't some abstract academic thing. It is a fundamental tool that helps us understand ourselves, connect with each other, and create the technology that defines our modern lives.
Ultimately, if language is what makes us human, then linguistics is the key we use to unlock its deepest secrets. It's the science of what you're hearing and understanding right at this very moment.